Welcome to Voices of Rise, the podcast that shines a spotlight on the women who are leading the future and shaping real change. These are honest conversations about leadership, resilience, and what it truly takes to rise. Get ready for powerful insight, bold perspectives, and voices you need to hear. Women who aren't just talking about change, but making a dent in the universe. Welcome to the podcast, Faria.
Thanks for having me.
Is this your first time at Rise?
Actually, I was here last year. I was speaking on a panel and I had a great time.
Are you speaking this year?
No, I'm not.
But you're on the podcast, which is the main thing.
Yes, I'm really excited.
Okay, so tell us about the business that you have, Faria. It's all based around autism, isn't it?
Yes, that's correct. So it's called Autism Foundation CIC. We are a social enterprise serving the community, and I specialize in autism. I'm also an ADOS 2 trained assessor, so I specialize in assessing people who have autism as well. But my journey started as a mother. I have an 18-year-old daughter, Afia, who has severe autism, ADHD, severe learning difficulties, epilepsy, PICA. So she has a wide range of different disabilities. And just hearing the number of challenges she has, her life is not very easy, but she still does an amazing job every single day coping with all the challenges she has. And that's how I got into the field of autism, working with people who have autism.
Was that because you didn't feel like you were getting the support that you needed when your daughter was younger?
Exactly. So I wanted to learn more about autism, to be able to help her as much as I can at home as well. And I started working in a special school and I never looked back because I loved my job, especially because I was able to bring a lot to my work as a mother. I was able to understand what these children and adults are going through because I have an autistic daughter myself.
Before you had your daughter, Faria, did you have much of an awareness of autism then?
I knew about autism. I had seen or heard of stories of autism on television, or you see that in the movies. But what you see on TV or in the movies is completely different to what it is in real life, because autism is a wide spectrum. And my daughter, Afia, she's on the severe to profound side of the spectrum. She's 18, but she's completely nonverbal, so she doesn't have any words. The communication difficulties cause a lot of behavioral difficulties. And that's what we don't see in the mainstream media. We don't really get to see the profound and severe side of autism and the challenges that come with it.
Did you know as soon as she was born that there was an issue there?
Well, autism can be very well hidden, especially when children are babies. It's mainly observable when they're 18 months old and plus, and that's exactly what happened with Afia. I kind of saw there were some gaps in her milestones when she was 12 months plus, and that's when I started going to the GP and started getting a referral to see why she is not speaking or reaching her milestones.
That must have been very difficult for you.
It was. It really was, because getting to terms with the fact that your child has a disability or any kind of learning needs is basically like a loss of child, because you have these aspirations and you have these hopes that your child is going to go to college and do all of these things. I have another daughter who is now 21 and she's neurotypical. She has just finished her university. So obviously, as soon as Afia was born, I had those aspirations for her as well. And then when the diagnosis comes along, then you realize it's a loss of that hope you had for your child. But then you learn and you adapt and you want to do the best.
And at what point was it that you decided, I'm going to have to do something here because I'm not getting the support that I need, so I'm going to have to build something myself?
So as Afia was getting older, and especially when she was 8 or 9 years old, I wanted to toilet train her. Now, you would imagine thinking, an 8 or 9-year-old should be going to the toilet themselves, but that's not the case when they have autism and any kind of learning needs. And there is no support. So I kept going to all the doctors, health professionals, even her special school, which was a really, really good special school, they didn't have an answer on how to toilet train somebody who has severe autism like Afia. So then I had to take matters in my own hands and create a method for her. And this is what my book is based on.
Oh, so you actually wrote a book around that whole issue as well to help others.
Exactly.
Gosh.
So I created a method at home for Afia, and it was successful for her. Then I started training that at the school I used to work at. I saw that it was a success for some of the pupils there. So I knew this method definitely works. And trust me, even till this date, so that was in 2017, even till this date in 2026, there hasn't been a method to teach parents on how to toilet train the autistic or disabled children and adults.
What kind of feedback have you had from other parents?
I've had thousands of success stories.
Wow.
I get messages from parents on Trustpilot, Google, personal messages, or Facebook, Instagram. They find me and then they are in tears because they have achieved the impossible. That's what a lot of parents say, that they have achieved the impossible because there is no support.
And how do you help to support the parents as well as the child? Because emotionally, it must be very pressurizing.
It is. So what I'm doing through Autism Foundation CIC, I do training courses, and mainly parents join my training courses. It is open for professionals as well. So I get parents and professionals. I've had loads of different organizations like schools and care homes reaching out to me. So currently I have 2 trainings. One is based on toilet training, which is directly linked to the book. And the other one is on autism and dealing with challenging behaviors. Like I was saying, when we talk about autism, we often overlook the challenging behavior. And that's where my work begins, because my job is to make a real life impact in the autistic person's life and their family's life, because I know how challenging it is to manage that behavior, to maintain an autistic person's, calm behavior all the time, and the challenges they have every single day. So my job really is not about just raising awareness, because we can raise awareness, which is brilliant, and we do need to start there. But I want to go, and I have been going one step further, is by teaching people on how to understand behavior, first of all, because behavior is a language. The autistic person with any challenging behavior, they're trying to tell us that they're unhappy about something, but they can't really communicate that, and hence it comes out in a challenging behavior. So my job is to teach people on how to understand the root cause of every challenging behavior and how to support the autistic person.
That's a really interesting point, Faria, about behavior is a language. Yeah. Can you give us some examples, maybe with your own daughter?
Yes. So as I was saying, Afia is nonverbal. She cannot talk. So there are certain things in the day that she wants. And she might say, ooh. So ooh means she's trying to communicate something. And we have an iPad for her. And on the iPad, she can choose different pictures of what she wants. And let's say there's a carer or somebody who's looking after Afia who doesn't know that they need to bring the iPad to her so that she can communicate. Now, because of the lack of communication, and if she doesn't have access to the iPad to communicate her needs, she will get frustrated very quickly because she thinks by saying, ooh, she is making her point. She's telling people. In her mind, she thinks they should know. Obviously, we don't know what that means. And it will escalate very, very quickly into self-harming behavior because now Afia thinks these people are not giving me what I want, and it will come out in a form of challenging behavior like head banging, head slapping, biting herself, or even if we go close to her, she will hit others as well. And this is very, very common, and this is what we don't see in the mainstream media, the challenges of real autism.
That's really interesting. And how do you hope to make a change in the world, Faria? What changes are you hoping that you can help to implement?
So every change I have made so far, so it all started with the toilet training book. So we started off with the book, and in the last 3 years, we've sold more than 1,000 copies. I don't want to just look at the numbers, but it shows how many people have been helped. And it's made a massive change, environmental change. It has had a massive social impact. Most importantly, it has had an impact on these autistic and disabled people's dignity, because everybody deserves the dignity of being able to go to the toilet, of being clean and not being in nappies. This topic or this subject is not even talked about. I'm sure you're probably hearing this for the first time because nobody talks about it. It's a very niche subject. And parents feel ashamed to say to anybody, my child who's 15 is still in nappies. But it's not their fault that there's no support with the NHS. Doctors don't know what to do. Health professionals haven't got a clue. The special schools don't even know how to toilet train these really severely autistic people. And most of them end up in nappies for the rest of their lives, which is not fair. But through this book...
And from what you've said, not actually necessary with the right support.
Exactly. But parents need to be told on how to do it. It's a very specific method. So the method I created, it's very, very specific, very structured. You have to be able to understand autism first to be able to apply this method. So that's what I train people. So every change that has happened so far through Autism Foundation, through my training, has come from my personal experience. As Afia has been getting older, the more I learn about, what the system is like, and I've tried to make that change. And now the next step into the business, and I call it a business because it has to work as a business as well. Although we are a social enterprise, my next project is to create care facilities for autistic and disabled people. And again, this has come from personal experience. Now Afia is 18 and we have to look at her future. How is she going to live? Where is she going to live? And I've been looking very deeply into this for quite a few years now before she turned 18 years old. And what I've realized is, again, the lack of support is unbelievable. And even the care facilities out there, the quality of care is so poor. It's unbelievable that these most vulnerable people are being left with carers who are not trained in autism. And let me tell you, autism is a very, very skilled and very specialized area. Obviously, every disability is. Each disability comes with its own challenges. But the most challenging part about autism is behavior, and that's what people don't understand. And that's where we get the difficulties that carers don't understand behavior, they can't manage autistic people. That's where a lot of physical handling comes in place, which shouldn't really. And that's where a lot of abuse happens.
Of course.
So every single care facility that I have come across so far, they have stories of abuse. It's all over the news these days because of the cost cuts, because of the funding issues we all are facing in the NHS and the public sector. The care sector has been hit really badly. And not many people want to work in the care sector. Those who are working don't have appropriate training, which leads to abuse of the most vulnerable. So the change I want to make is create a care facility with highly trained professionals, because I'm a trainer myself. I will be making sure that we have highly trained professionals. We have everything in place. So we are providing the highest quality of care.
It's very interesting, Faria, the point that you make about having to understand autism first.
Yeah.
Before changes can be made, we have to understand it.
Yes.
We have to understand really what it is. For people that don't really know anything about autism, can you just tell us in a nutshell what it actually is?
Autism is a wide spectrum, so it's loosely divided in 3 areas: mild, moderate, and severe. Nowadays, it's called as level 1, which is more mild, level 2, moderate, and level 3 is severe to profound. And everybody who is on the spectrum, doesn't matter where they lie on the spectrum, they have social communication difficulties. So even the people who are verbal, who are on the mild side of the spectrum, they may have some speech, but they will have some kind of communication difficulties, because communication doesn't just mean speech. It means understanding what you're telling me. So now we are able to have a conversation because I can understand what you're asking me and I can communicate that. But an autistic person, when a question is asked, they may not be able to comprehend that or understand that properly to respond, even if they have the right tools, which is speech. So everybody on the spectrum will have some kind of communication difficulties, and we have to bear that in mind. Another big area is social interaction. Autistic people find it very difficult to interact or start a conversation, or follow the social norms, as we say. Yes. And the third one is repetitive behavior. So every autistic person will have some kind of repetitive behavior, and they will do the same thing again and again because they rely on structure, they rely on routine, and then they will be quite rigid on how they do things. If you change their routine slightly, it can upset them a lot.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, so that it can be really triggering if there's a change to routine or situation.
Yeah.
Really, really interesting. Do you think, Faria, that, I mean, there's more awareness than there used to be?
There's definitely more awareness, of course, but I think we are just stuck at the stage of awareness. And that's where I have made the change by developing these trainings, which is beyond awareness. It is all about making real life impact, because unless we are having that positive impact on the autistic person's life, we are not really making a difference to the autistic person or their family's life, to be honest. And when it's about awareness, I think it's more for those people who don't know about autism. When we talk about parents and professionals who work with autistic people, they are aware of what autism is.
And those are the people that you're trying to engage to really make a difference.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. So Faria, where can people contact you if they want to get in touch? You're on LinkedIn.
I'm on LinkedIn, so if you type in my name, Faria Arsh, you will find us. Autism Foundation CIC, so I have a LinkedIn page of Autism Foundation CIC as well. Or you can check out my website, www.autismfoundation.co.uk. And
people can get your book through that as well.
Yes, they can get my book through that. My book is available worldwide on loads of different platforms: Waterstones, Barnes & Nobles, Amazon.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Well, wishing you every success for the future, and your daughter, who's lovely. She's 18 now.
She is 18, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for sharing your story and for the incredible work that you're doing, Faria.
Thank you.
Very best of luck for the future. The Voices of Rise podcast is sponsored and produced by Applehead Media.